welcome to my channel, or welcome back. And in today's video we're going to be talking about why I will no longer be shooting my shot. Okay, let's get into this. And y'all already know how we do. So for this story, this character's name is going to be Lloyd, right? So me and Lloyd had met in August of 2024 when I decided to pick up a second job at this bar place that also sells tacos. If y'all like been watching my channel since I started back on YouTube, y'all will see that I have a vlog of me like coming to work with me vlog or whatever, of me opening up the restaurant, and that is where me and this guy met, right? So when I had like found out about this job, it was because I was attending like one of their locations all the time for food, right? Because the food be busting. That's how I knew about the job. So anyways, when I got it, the manager had told me that there was multiple locations and that I will be most likely working at 2 different locations, right? But I was gonna start off in the Midtown one. I said, okay, that's cool, that ain't no problem. So my very first day, right, it's me and this white girl that started. It's both of our first day. Shout out to a baddie, her name is Phoebe. Y'all, my sister got fired. That's besides the point, but I'm like still sad about it to this day because she got fired for no fucking reason, y'all. But anyways, it was me and her first day, right? And so it was me, her, and the manager, and we just all talking, like getting to know each other and stuff, filling each other out. And he tells us like, oh, we have this guy who's gonna be coming in to help y'all. His name is Lloyd. He'll be here any minute, right? So I said, okay, cool. And so mind you, at this time I was also working at Sephora, and so I went by Chrissy at Sephora. Like my real name is Christina, but I went by Chrissy at Sephora. And so I tried to get my coworkers at this job to call me Chrissy. I even told the manager that in the interview. Like he asked me like, do you have a preferred name? I said Chrissy, and he still put my name in the system as Christina. So anytime somebody was like ringing me out or whatever, it would still pop up as Christina. So because of that, everybody just called me Christina, so I just kind of gave it up. But anyways, I'm over here like, yeah, my name is Christy, this, when in comes Lloyd. And y'all, like, I'm not gonna lie, I got some butterflies when I had first seen him, because this is like, I don't know, like, I haven't liked anybody in a long time, and so like the fact that like I fluttered a little bit when he walked in, I was like, hold on, because like he's actually fine. Like literally I was like, oh my gosh, like this man is fine. And so I remember he comes in and immediately walks straight to me, right? Granted, I was the only black person in the room at the time, and Lloyd is also black. So I was like, okay, like maybe he like approached me first because of like proximity. Like obviously, like, you know, you're gonna go towards the group that you're more comfortable with, especially if it's people that look like you. But at the same time, like when he turned to Phoebe, like, okay, so let me tell you, he walks in and comes straight to me and immediately reaches his hands out and was like, hey, my name's Lloyd, what's your name? And I was so like, then I was like, hi, my name's Christina, nice to meet you. And then we shook hands or whatever, and then he just turned to Phoebe and was like, hi, nice to meet you. And that was it. And she was like, oh, I'm Phoebe, whatever, whatever. So that was like the first thing that I kind of took a mental note of, but I was like, whatever. So we started getting to know each other, and we all just like giving a rundown of our little lore, just trying to like I said, get to know each other. So I'm over here telling them about myself. Phoebe is telling us about herself. When it get to Lloyd, Lloyd is like, yeah, I just graduated from college. I used to go to college in DC and play basketball. I'm trying to get on an international basketball team. Like, yeah, like I'm really trying to get up there, and you know, I just need a little job until I can hear something back from my agents, so I could just have a little bit of pocket change and just a reason to get out of the house other than training. So he was like, okay, cool. And we all like, okay, like, are y'all dating anybody? This. I'm like, nah, I'm single. Phoebe like, oh baby, I got a girl back where I'm from. And then he was like, oh no, I'm single, I'm not like dating right now just because I'm trying to get signed, and you know, I would hate to start a relationship and then have to end it or whatever. I said, oh, like, you know, duh, makes sense. And you know, in my head I was like, damn, because this nigga fine. Like, I mean, it was already damn, because it was like, damn, any minute this man could get signed and he could leave. But then it was like, also, dang, like. So anyways, we started working together and we just got really, really close, y'all. Like, I'm talking about, like, we would talk all the time. Like, every time he would come into work, he would always give me hugs. Anytime he ordered food, he would always be like, oh, let's share food. Mind you, any other co-workers he never would ask them if they wanted to split food. He would literally sometimes be like, oh, I kind of want some wings or whatever, but I don't want to like get a whole platter. Do you want to split it or whatever? Like, and mind you, typically most of us, if we had food and we had leftovers, we would just package it up and save it for later or whatever. But anytime he got food, he always offered me his food. It didn't matter if it was something as small as a french fry to as big as a little taco platter. He always offered to share his food with me. He never did it with the other people at our job. And like I said, at that time when we first started working together, I was the only like other black person at this job, and just black woman working there in general, because there was other women there, but a lot of the women that work there are Latino / Hispanic or whatever. So anyways, like that was another, like that was like my second thing that I was like, maybe he kind of liked me, but then I was like, no, maybe he's just like a very friendly person. And like I said, like proximity or whatever. And like I said, he would hug me like all the time. Like every time we would come to work, he would always give me hugs, whatever. And we would always be like, oh my God, like I can't wait to see you next time we at work. And y'all, literally when I had first started this job, like maybe a month into me working there, he was literally like, oh my gosh, I really enjoy working with you. You should ask the manager to make this like your full-time like location so we can work together. And in my head, I was like, hold on. So you want to spend more time with me? That's what I'm hearing. Like, is that what I'm hearing? And so I'm really like, oh my God, like he want me. Like he want me. But then at the same time, I also knew that like he wasn't looking for a girlfriend due to the fact of him could be leaving any minute. So I was like, well, I don't know, maybe like he's just really nice and he's just like, I don't know, like I don't know, like I just kept making up all these things, and maybe that was my problem. So anyways, by the end of the year, I had decided that I'm gonna leave that job just because I was like, they kept playing with us. And what I mean by that is they kept playing with our pay. They wouldn't pay us on time. Like sometimes they wouldn't pay us until like the next day, or if it was payday, they always waited till late into the day. And they would always tell us like if we didn't get our checks physically or in our account by 7 p.m. that we wasn't gonna get to the next day. And that used to piss me clean off, y'all. Like I used to hate that shit. So I eventually just ended up quitting because I was like, I'm tired of having to beg y'all to pay me on time. Like I am never at work late. I never call out. Like I never called out at that job ever. I'm like, I do everything that I'm supposed to, and the least you could do is pay me my money on time. Okay, y'all know every time we get paid, it's every 2 weeks on a Friday. Like why are we acting clueless? Okay. So I ended up leaving the job, and while working there, he even had told me like, oh, we should make plans outside of work. And I even mentioned that to him too, like, yeah, we should definitely like link up after like outside of work or whatever. But we just never did due to the fact of us always working together anyways. But once I quit, it was like, okay, like we really got to put the plans in motion. Like let's see if we're gonna really put this, you know, in motion, right? So like I said, I quit, and I'm still at Sephora at this point. And so at this point it had been like 3 weeks. I ain't seen them because obviously I don't work there no more. And I decided to kind of do like a little pop-up because at like that job that I was working at was 5 minutes down the street from the Sephora that I was working at. And so I was like, okay, like I'm gonna spin the block and see if he's at work, because like the way that one specific location is that even though it's in the back of the plaza, you could drive around in the back and like do a little loop-de-loop real quick. And it had like, the restaurant has like these big windows in the back that you could see into the restaurant. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like drive by and see if he's here, because obviously if he ain't at work, like I ain't coming back, like I ain't coming in here. But if he at work, I'm gonna say what's up. So he was at work, and he immediately was like, oh my God, like I miss you so much. And like we hugged tight for a good little minute, was just talking. And I came to get like some food, and so I'm eating there just talking to him, like kind of catching up. And we finally decided to make plans, right? So we make plans for the first link up, right? First link up goes well. We have a lot of fun. We decide, okay, let's make plans again. So the second time we made plans, we went to this place called Battle and Brew in like not Sandy Springs. Well, they do have a Sandy Springs location, but we went to the Battle and Brew in the Battery. And so anyways, this particular night, I was going to tell him how I had felt about him and, you know, confess all my feelings. And it wasn't like, I wasn't telling him necessarily because I was like, oh, I want you to like make me your girlfriend, because like I said, the man was working on trying to get signed. So realistically, I'm like, okay, like I know that we're not going to date, but I did want to get it off my chest before he had left to, you know, go do his big one, because he did end up getting signed. I'm not gonna say to like what team or whatever, but he got signed. So anyways, I decided, okay, like I'm gonna like confess to him. But this particular night, I should have took this as a sign that maybe you shouldn't say nothing, because the night that I was gonna tell him, like the place where we had came from, we had got in his car and drove there, but I had met like up with him down the street at the Quick Trip, and so that way we could split like parking if we had to split parking or whatever. So anyways, we get back to the Quick Trip and all the parking spots is taken up, so he couldn't park his car nowhere, so he just dropped me in front of my car. I go home and I'm kind of bummed, because I'm like, damn, like I wanted to say something, but I just chickened out. Like I got so nervous, I got so scared. So then y'all, I decided like, okay, I'm gonna finally say something to him. I'm just gonna call him on the phone, because I wanted to do it in person, but I'm actually glad that I didn't do it in person, because I think that would have made me feel even worse after what I'm about to tell y'all. So anyway, I decided like, okay, I'm gonna just call him, because at this point I had also left Sephora, and so while like before leaving Sephora, my schedule was still like pretty open. So like I kind of worked based off his schedule, like whatever his off day was, like we would hang out, because once I had quit that job, a lot of other people had quit, and so he was telling me how he was working 6 days a week and he only had 1 day off, and so that would be usually the day that we would hang out, like after I had left that job. So anyway, hey guys, so it's editing Chrissy here, and I realized a chunk of my story got cut out, so I'm just going to continue from where I left off. So anyways, at this point I'm working at Nordstrom Rack, and our schedules aren't aligning anymore, because he was working 6 days a week, because at this point everybody had quit except him, okay? So he was up and stuck by himself at this job. And like I said, our schedules were not aligning. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to call him up and I'm going to just tell him how I feel. So I call him up and I'm like, you know, I know you're not looking for a relationship. I know you don't do stuff with people when you're not in a romantic relationship with them. And, you know, I respect that. And, you know, this is part of why I wanted to, you know, call you, because I wanted to get this off my chest, because I feel like, you know, once I say what I need to say, like the feelings will go away. Like I really do enjoy our friendship, so I don't want to ruin it over something as minor as this, but I wanted to be honest, right? So then, y'all know that when I confessed my feelings for this man, all he said was, first he asked me when I said, it's not that I want to do anything with you, I just want to get off my chest. He says, so you don't want to do anything with me? And I was just like, well, first you said you're not looking to date or anything, and second, you also told me that you don't do stuff sexually with people that you're not romantically with. So yeah, like no, there's nothing we can do if you don't feel the same way. So that was the first thing. But then after I got the rest off my chest, he was just like, oh. And y'all, that shit hurt. That shit hurt my feelings, y'all. And then right after that, we get off the phone, never heard from the nigga again. Like, I'm talking about ghosting me. And mind you, like, it wasn't like we would text every day and talk all the time or whatever. It was never like that. Like, we was very close at work and would talk all the time at work. And yes, we did hang out outside of work, but like I said, it wasn't no, oh, we texted him stuff all the time. But we did used to send each other music all the time. And he stopped sending me music, didn't hear from him, none of that. And y'all, that shit hurt my feelings so bad, because I had really thought that he liked me, especially because of the different stuff that I was telling y'all within the story. And I don't know, maybe I read the room wrong and maybe it was me, but I'm like, damn, like I really thought he was feeling me too. Like, this is so crazy. And you know what's so funny, like I said, he got signed to a team and he was supposed to leave during the month of May. I don't know when he left, but I'm gonna assume that he left recently. But yeah, I was so embarrassed. Like, I really was vulnerable, and you know, I really liked him. Like, this was the first guy that I've actually had a crush on in years. Like, the last person that I really liked hurt my feelings horribly, and so it took a lot in me to like really like somebody, because of course you can find somebody attractive and stuff like that, but there's a difference between like, you know, you just find them attractive and you're lusting after them versus, oh, you're attractive but I actually want to get to know you and I like just enjoy your company and stuff. And it was definitely the second one with him. And so I'm like, damn, maybe I'm just delusional and I read too much into it. But like, yeah, that shit hurt my feelings so bad. I said, yeah, I'm good off shooting my shot. Y'all don't gotta worry about that. Y'all don't ever gotta worry about me doing that again, ever, okay? Because that shit is embarrassing. Like, I feel like a clown. A clown? He's a clown? Like, dead ass. Literally. Bozo the clown. That's me. With that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. I will see you lovely people later. Bye.